For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, about a month ago I started playing Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn to see if it was worth playing for the story. So for the last month I've been giving weekly updates on my thoughts and feelings as I've been progressing through A Realm Reborn. So feel free to go watch those videos if you haven't already, but I feel like this video is my first big checkpoint because I did beat A Realm Reborn this last week. The credits have rolled and I'm ready to talk about it. Also stick around to the end if you want to hear my predictions of what I think is going to happen next in the story. And if you want to join me through my journey, you can always stop by and say hi while I'm streaming on Twitch. Currently, I stream Final Fantasy XIV about 5 days a week. I'll leave my Twitch link in the description. And before we get started, if you enjoyed today's video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. All right, so I'm going to be talking a lot about the game and the ending of the game, so spoiler warning if you haven't finished yet. So the last time I checked in, I had just beat Kuruda.
All right, we're getting it, guys.
And the Empire had come in and murdered a bunch of the Scions.
Yeah, I am feeling like What? Holy. I don't know any of these people, but like, goodness, like there's a lot of dead people here. Oh, the cabbage! They made salad out of the cabbage.
I feel like this is where the game really started to grab me, really started to pick up. Though I do have to say, up until this point, I don't think they've spent a lot of time really fleshing out any of the characters of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. At that point, I didn't really know any of their backstories. They just kind of felt like co-workers. So while of course this was a crazy plot point where the Empire did something really, really evil, I feel like it didn't land super hard with me. But this was one of the first big evil things the Empire did since the game started. So that left the biggest impression on me on how evil the Empire could be by just murdering a bunch of people. And then we had the mission where we had to go break in and save our friends from the Empire. I really like this moment. It reminded me of Final Fantasy IX when you had to storm the castle and save Dagger. And then there was the fight with the Magitech gear that I thought was one of the best fights up until this part of the game. There were these hidden shield generators that were protecting the Magitech suits that you were fighting. And that was the first time in the game where I felt like it really made me pay attention to what I was doing. Because at first I wasn't paying attention, and for about a minute I was trying to fight it, not realizing that I wasn't doing any damage.
Okay, why is she not dying at all? Why is he invulnerable? Huh. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Alright, I get... Okay. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on here. It's this frickin' thing. Okay, got it. No worries, guys, I got it. Thanks, don't worry about it. I figured it out. This game is easy.
And then there was this really cool moment where Ida and Y'shtola teamed up and almost fought Livia, which I felt was a bit of a missed opportunity, but more on that in a minute. And then there was the Thancred reveal, which I thought was a really cool, shocking moment.
What? Is that Thancred? Who is this? What? Dude, I told you in the beginning, dude, I told you. Thancred is not to be trusted. I'm telling you.
No, this cannot be.
The neck tattoos gave it away.
I do have to say though, I felt like it could have been more shocking if I cared more about that character, because again, unfortunately, I just don't know a whole lot about Thancred, so him betraying us, though while it was shocking, it didn't hit me as hard as I felt like it could have, but overall, I thought that moment delivered really well. So one character that I've left out thus far is Sid. I think he is the one character who I actually did feel a bit of an investment with, because they did take the time to tell us some of his backstory during these final hours of the game. So I really love that character. I think he's complex. He's gonna have a lot to do with the story, I can tell, and he's just overall a super cool dude. So next we have the whole plan and preparation for the final encounters, which I think delivered 100%. These are the moments that I think Final Fantasies do so well, these big, giant, epic, larger than life final encounters. And A Realm Reborn is no exception. Okay, so first off, we had the fight with Riditon. And honestly, I thought this was the coolest and hardest fight out of all of the final encounters. And from what I understand, I think they recently reworked this fight. And they did a great job, because apparently it used to be really, really easy. I think you were able to bring other players with you into that fight, but for me, I had to fight him solo, and I'm really glad I did. I think it was the perfect level of difficulty. But this isn't the only reason that I liked this encounter. I really loved that character of Riditon. Apparently the Empire had previously come into his homeland and conquered it, and he's fully bought in and believes in the Empire's cause. He thinks that they're actually the good guys, and that he's doing the right thing by serving the Empire, which made the final moments of that encounter that much more tragic, when he grabs your character with the chain and rains down fire and missiles on you, killing himself in the process. In my opinion, that was a pure classic Final Fantasy moment. Now let's talk about what I think was maybe the weakest part of the final encounter, and that was the fight with Livia. Like I mentioned before, Y'shtola and Ada had a fight with her earlier on for just like a half a second, and I thought that was a really big missed opportunity because this fight later on didn't really seem like it meant a lot. I almost feel like it would have been cooler if Ada and Y'shtola just fought her and killed her earlier on in the story, because fighting her later didn't really add a lot to the game.
Basically, we're gonna kill her, all right? Which I think Ada and Y'shtola should have killed her earlier, but that's fine. I'll do it.
But I'm sure a lot of you may disagree with that, which is totally fine. Please leave a comment if you do. Tell me why I'm wrong and tell me why you think that was a great part of the game. And let me be clear, I don't think that part of the game was bad. I just think it was a missed opportunity. I think it could have been even better. So next was Nero. Nero is my favorite character in the game so far. He reminds me of the son that stayed home in the Prodigal Son story. He's so bitter and angry that Gaius' attention is on Cid, while Nero has been there the whole time, loyal and serving the Empire. So he has a chip on his shoulder, he has something to prove. And ever since I first saw this character, I just knew there was gonna be more to his story. Plus he has the coolest freaking armor in the game, I want that. So I'm really excited to see where his character is gonna go. And like I said, at the end of this video, I'm gonna make some predictions of where I think that'll end up. All right, and then we have the epic Gaius evil monologue. Now you gotta have an evil monologue. Might be a little cheesy, but I think they delivered really well here, explaining his motivation, his logical thought process of power and who should wield it, and his justifications for everything that he was doing. And there was even a quick moment where he offered you to join him because he recognized the power that you had. I thought he was a really great face of the Empire, rationalizing all of the evil things they were doing, having what seemed like were good goals, but just going about achieving them the wrong way. And then there was the fight with him on Ultimate Weapon, which was just classic fighting a god, insane Final Fantasy end boss stuff. That's what we're all here for, and I loved it. And then there was Thancred, or La Habrea. I thought this fight was great too. It was appropriately long, grindy, and epic. I really had to be on top of my game for a sustained period of time, looking at all of the AoE attacks on the ground and trying to remember which one was there first. And then the moment where he actually kills you and you're raised by the crystal. I'm sure there's a whole bunch more stuff there with the crystal in the future, but I thought that was a really great moment. Throughout these 5 fights, I don't think there was anything super challenging here, except for the very first fight where I did think I was going to maybe die, but I ended up pulling through, and I didn't die on any of the other end bosses, which is okay because I was really just so excited to see what happened next in the story that I wasn't hung up that it wasn't more difficult. And since then, I have experienced some of the harder content that the game has to offer, so I'm really excited that there is that hard content there for me. But this is MSQ and the hard content's just not there, which is totally fine. Again, was happy to get through the story. Okay, so let me give you some of my final thoughts on A Realm Reborn and my predictions. But before we do that, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What was your favorite moment or your favorite battle in the end game? I want to start with Nero though. Like I said, I think this character has a much larger role to play in the game. I don't know if he's going to be around till the end, but I think he's probably at least going to be the main enemy in Heavensward, or perhaps one of the other expansions, but either way, he's going to become something much more powerful, much more chaotic than what Gaius was. That's my prediction. Again, please no spoilers in the comments. I do think that somebody in the Scions is probably gonna die at some point. I don't know which one. I'm thinking maybe Menphilia. I don't really know though. I don't know if it'll happen in the next expansion or one of the other ones, but I just foresee there being some of these moments like in Final Fantasy VII when Sephiroth kills Aerith. I wanna say with the whole crystal raising you and that stuff, obviously it seems like it's a force for good, but my bold prediction here is that I think at some point you're gonna have to turn on the crystal, or the crystal turns on you, or just like there's gonna be some kind of epic thing where maybe you're gonna have to fight the crystal, or something the crystal possesses. I don't know, something like that. Might be totally wrong there. I think that's a wild prediction, but the crystal just seems too good, too pure to not be up to something. I just don't exactly trust the crystal. Also, another prediction is I think there's probably so many more characters that I haven't met yet that are probably bigger roles that I just haven't seen yet. I don't know about them. So I guess my prediction is that I don't think I've met who the actual main enemy is. I don't think it's La Habrea. It could be, but I think there's something else super evil that I just haven't seen yet. Another quick prediction, I haven't seen Shiva yet in this game. Shiva's usually a main staple in Final Fantasy, so that's going to be an epic fight whenever we run into her. And I'll close on this. Like I've mentioned in my other videos, What makes this game amazing clearly is the community. I found myself looking forward to playing this game every night, even during those more grindy parts of the game, because it's undeniably fun to be in this shared world with your friends. So for that, Yoshi P, thank you for making this game. Well done.